as we welcome you to Busch Stadium and a huge series going on, and Fox Saturday Baseball here to present the Cincinnati Reds against the St. Louis Cardinals. And at this point, despite the Cardinals winning last night, the Reds have taken control with a 7-game lead in the National League Central Division. Meanwhile, the Cardinals in a survival mode are 5.5 games in the wild card race behind the Phillies. And we welcome you, Dick Stockton, along with Tim McCarver. Ken Rosenthal is here as well. And when the Cardinals swept the Reds in Cincinnati early in August, well, since then the Cardinals have faltered, the Reds have skyrocketed, and this race has taken an unexpected turn.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are surprised that Cincinnati is 7 games in front of the St. Louis Cardinals. The one guy who wasn't surprised, the guy at the beginning of the season, the Hall of Fame manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, Whitey Herzog, said, if there's one team in this division that can overtake the Cardinals, it's the Cincinnati Reds. Was he ever right?
And this rivalry has had just about everything this year.
Boy, I should say they've had fights on the field. They're having 2 guys fighting for the Triple Crown, and Joey Votto and Albert Pujols. You could throw Carlos Gonzalez in there, Cargo of Colorado. It's going to be a very, very exciting September, but the Cardinals certainly have their work cut out.
No question about it, and we'll be watching that Triple Crown race. Carl Yastrzemski of the Red Sox, the last to do it. It's been that long, but the Cardinals had Ducky Medwick back in 1937 to win the Triple Crown in the National League, and right now it's a battle with Albert Pujols and Joey Votto going on it. So it's going to be a Triple Crown showdown as the Reds face the Cardinals. Set to battle in the second game of their 3-game series. The Cardinals winning last night by a score of 3-2. And today's Reds starting lineup is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Brandon Phillips leading off at second base. Orlando Cabrera back in the lineup after missing 27 games. He's at short. Joey Votto will be at first base. Scott Rowland will be at third. Ramon Hernandez behind the plate. Johnny Gomes is in left field. Drew Stubbs is the center fielder. Chris Heisey will be in right. And Travis Wood, the rookie left-hander, on the mound for the Reds, facing Adam Wainwright, who is trying to break a 3-game losing streak. First time he's experienced 3 losses in a row in his career.
One of those losses was at home. His only loss at home. He's 11-1 here at Busch Stadium with a 1.42 earned run average. One of the best curveballs in the game. He's lost 3 straight, as Dick said, and there's that remarkable earned run average at home.
Adam Wainwright, 17-9 on the year. Tied for first with the most victories, along with Ubaldo Jimenez of Colorado. So Wainwright today and Chris Carpenter tomorrow. So the Cardinals can't ask for better pitchers for the remainder of the series after Jaime Garcia was the winner last night. And there you look at the series history, and of course the Cardinals have really had the pennants and the World Championships and more of the honors than the Reds.
That is the most World Series titles in the National League, the 10 by the Cardinals. Interestingly, the first pennant won by the Cincinnati Reds was during the Black Sox scandal in 1919. The first pennant and World Series won by the Cardinals over the New York Yankees in 1926. And in that series, the last out was made when Babe Ruth tried to steal second base and was thrown out at second. The Cardinals won that game.
And remembering Babe Ruth, you would say he would be thrown out at second base. So we're set to go, and this game is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Wow, the booze. Come on.
Well, Brandon Phillips was booed heartily last night and did not get a hit. He was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. And, of course, Brandon Phillips was the player who ignited that brawl the last time these teams played. Well, we're set to go here, and the first pitch from Wainwright is a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Phillips is hitting .288 with 16 homers and 50 runs batted in. He suffered a bruised right wrist and missed 5 starts. Hit second in the order last night, and the pitch misses, and it's 2-0. There is Orlando Cabrera, and the Reds are delighted to have him back in the lineup, their regular shortstop on deck. Foul back, and it's 2-1. Wainwright making his 8th career start against the Reds. 2-1 this year and 3-3 in his career. Foul back on the screen off the fastball, 2-2.
It's hard to know for sure, Dick, but I think Brandon Phillips was affected by the crowd last night. Not only because he went 0 for 4, he just did not appear to be as aggressive as he normally is. Here's a guy with 3 straight 20 home run, 20 stolen base seasons, and he could get his 4th in a row this year.
Strikes out on a Wainwright curveball, and Molina throws to first. And there's one gone. Let's take a look at the Cardinals defensively. Matt Holliday, John Jay, the outstanding rookie, and Nick Stavanoa getting the start in right field. Pedro Feliz at third. Brendan Ryan is at short. Aaron Miles at second, and Albert Pujols at first. Yadier Molina catching Adam Wainwright. And with one away, here is Orlando Cabrera hitting .260. 3 homers and 37 runs batted in. Suffered that strained oblique and was sidelined for 27 games. And a line drive off the glove of Feliz into left field. And a sharp base hit for Cabrera, and the Reds have their first base runner.
Talking to Dusty Baker before the game and asking him if Cabrera was ready, he said, I really have no idea. He had 3 rehab at-bats in Dayton. I think swinging that first fastball, he's ready.
And here is Joey Votto, who is certainly ready. Second in the league, hitting .323. Tied for third with 32 home runs and leading in the RBI race with 97. 1 more than Albert Pujols. And the first pitch grounded to second. Aaron Miles goes through him into right field. And Cabrera will go to third. And charging into second base, the throw not in time. And the Reds have runners at second and third with 1 out.
Adam Wainwright could be out of the inning Ball right through the legs of Aaron Miles. So not only an error, but Cabrera to third base. Votto hustling around. Great base running by Joey Votto to make it to second base.
And Scott Rowland, the former Cardinal, with an opportunity here to get the Reds in front, hitting .297 with 19 homers and 78 runs batted in. So the error charged to Aaron Miles, and Cabrera, the runner at third, and Votto is at second, nobody out. Curveball is down low, ball one. This is a rough start for the Cardinals, who are hoping, Tim, to pick up some momentum after last night's one-run victory.
Say momentum is as good as the next day's starter, and they've got one of the best starters in the major leagues on the mound, but that error so far very, very costly to the Cardinals.
And a call strike, 1-1, and you saw Rowland, who got off to the hot start this year and has cooled off. Played 6 years with the Redbirds and had his career best year back in '04. Runners at second and third. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and a strike to the 35-year-old Rowland, and there is Ramon Hernandez, the catcher, waiting on deck.
I think if you're Wainwright, you almost have to throw the good curveball in this situation. You have first base open, and Hernandez on deck.
Now it's 3-1 to Rowland.
You did not have to give Rowland a good pitch to hit. Normally, under these circumstances, you don't like to pitch around the hitter in the first inning. The theory being you get too many guys on, and when you get a lot of guys on, that could lead to a big inning. But I think right here, I would not give Rowland a good pitch to hit here.
And he doesn't. And the pitch low and outside, ball 4, and that'll load the bases. So after getting Brandon Phillips chasing on a curveball for the first out, Cabrera with a sharp single, and then the error by Aaron Miles, and the bases loaded with 1 out, and Ramon Hernandez coming up. And this is the 0-3 mark in the last 3 games that Carpenter, or I should say Wainwright, has experienced.
It's an odd lineup for the Reds today. They have their first 4 infielders hitting in the first 4 spots. The catcher hits 5th, and the 3 outfield positions hit 6th, 7th, and 8th. Very unusual, but caused by Dusty Baker because he is missing 3 left-handed hitting outfielders.
And Jay Bruce, of course, unable to play. They hope he gets back soon. Here's a curveball, over for the strike. Hernandez hitting .302 with 6 homers and 42 runs batted in. Cabrera is at third, Votto at second, and Scott Rowland has the lead at first. Inside 1-1 now to Hernandez. Adam Wainwright lost to the Washington Nationals in his last start on Sunday, giving up 4 runs in 5 innings. 1-1 pitch, slowly hit to shortstop. Ryan will make the only play. That's the first base, and the run scores. So Cabrera comes across, and the Reds lead 1-0. Votto moves to third, and Rowland to second base.
It's one of the quirky things about baseball. When you say having hit a ground ball double play to get out of the inning, you want him to hit it hard enough. So if you don't make a pitch where he hits it hard enough, something like this happens, he gets a cheap RBI.
So Hernandez with his 43rd run batted in, the Reds lead. Runners at second and third, and Johnny Gomes, who has 15 homers, 72 runs batted in, including an RBI last night, checks a swing, and the pitch is inside, ball 1. Larry Vanover is the home plate umpire. Jeff Nelson is at first, Mike Carlson at second, and Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, is at third. And this is the same umpiring crew that worked the 3-game series in Cincinnati. And Tony La Russa coming out of the dugout as Molina talking with Vanover at the plate.
I think home plate umpire Larry Vanover did not get help. I believe that's what Wainwright was talking about. That's why Molina turned around and talked to him. I think that's what's going on. Did he go around? Did Johnny Gomes go around? The Cardinals thought he did.
Nelson did not give a sign.
No, he hasn't. That's right.
So La Russa back to the dugout, and the count 1-0 to Gomes, who's been a .267 hitter and has a home run against Wainwright in his career. Pitches away, and it's 2-0. You're right, it's so unusual to have outfielders batting so low in the batting order.
Yeah, your 6, 7, and 8 spots once again for Cincinnati today because of their lack of left-handed hitters or dearth of left-handed hitters in the outfield available. They have to have 3 right-handers. Very odd.
2-0 pitch and a drive hit to left field. Matt Holliday, and it's over his head. 2 runs will score. And on his way to second and holding at second with a double is Johnny Gomes. And you saw the graphic of how successful the Reds have been when they have scored first. And now they have a 3-0 lead here in the first inning, and Gomes is in scoring position.
A 2-0 cookie by Wainwright to Gomes. But to be fair, Wainwright should be out of the inning. Both runners score easily. Gomes to second. RBI's number 73 and 4 for Johnny Gomes. Remarkable.
And that's under the title of Who Expected This from some of these Reds hitters.
Yep.
Here's Drew Stubbs, who was the leadoff hitter last night. Fouls it at the plate for strike 1. Stubbs hitting .239, and he has 59 runs batted in himself.
Yeah.
So the Reds jumping on Adam Wainwright, as he pointed out, a critical error by Aaron Miles to open up the floodgates here. Curveball, and it's in for the strike. 0-2 the count to Stubbs.
Here's that error that led to 3 runs. There's no other way to put it. That's a double play ball. Cardinals should have been out of it with only 3 guys batting, and they're the number 7 spot hitter takes a called 3rd strike.
And that'll end the inning, but the damage is done. The Reds scored 3 runs on only 2 hits and 1 big Cardinal error. Cincinnati 3 and the Cardinals coming up. Facing this Cardinal batting order, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Aaron Miles leading off. John Jay batting second. Albert Pujols hitting third, and Matt Holliday in the cleanup spot. Nick Stavanoa, right-handed bat, who was just called up, will be in right field. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Pedro Feliz, a newcomer, is at third base. Brendan Ryan at shortstop, and Adam Wainwright facing Travis Wood, who most of his starts have been on the road, and he's been successful.
One of those starts on the road was almost perfect. 8 1/3 perfect innings against the Philadelphia Phillies on July 10th. He learned that changeup in high school. It is so rare to see a 23-year-old left-hander with a changeup. He learned it his junior year in high school, and as we said, he's already flirted with perfection.
And the switch hitting Aaron Miles takes ball one, and of course that high school was in Arkansas.
Bryan High School in Little Rock, Arkansas.
And you know, his family are here to watch him today. And the count 2 balls and no strikes to Miles. So Travis Wood, taken in the second round of 2005, was optioned to AAA a month ago to make room for Jim Edmonds, and then returned 10 days later. This is his 10th start on the road, where he is 4-1, and the opposition hitting under 200 against him. John Jay on deck. 2 balls and 1 strike to Aaron Miles. Fouls it off, 2-2. All 3 runs scored by the Reds in the top of the first inning were unearned. And a strike fastball on the outside corner, and Aaron Miles goes down for out number 1. Let's take a look now at the Reds defense. Johnny Gomes, Drew Stubbs, and Chris Heisey in the outfield. Scott Rowland, Orlando Cabrera, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto in the infield, and Ramon Hernandez catching Travis Wood. The Reds are the top fielding team in the National League. They've committed only 54 errors, 3 fewer than the San Diego Padres, who are second. And here's John Jay, and he takes ball 1. Jay, a good-looking rookie, and his performance allowed the Cardinals to deal Ryan Ludwig to San Diego at the trading deadline. Takes a big cut and misses, 1-1.
I guess rumors begin with murmurs, and the murmurs that will lead to rumors about Travis Wood is he looks a lot like Don Gullett, and he does.
And John Jay with a smooth stroke with a base hit to right center field, hitting .327 in 75 games coming into this one. And here is the sprint player first for Albert Pujols coming to the plate for St. Louis. And he leads the National League with 35 home runs. Second, 1 behind Joey Votto in runs batted in, and 5th in hitting. And ball went inside to Pujols, who was hitless last night, as was Joey Votto in the series opener.
Try to clear that up about the left-hander Don Gullett. If you folks do not know the history of Don Gullett, he was a left-handed hitter or left-handed pitcher for the Reds in the middle 70s, signed a big contract with the New York Yankees, but one of the guttiest pitchers that I had ever faced. And to be compared with Don Gullett when you're a young Travis Wood, boy, that is high praise, because he could flat out pitch and had a ton of guts. He was the stopper for the Cincinnati Reds in the several years in the Big Red Machine years. That's right. 1976, when the Reds won 7 in a row in postseason. 3 against the Phillies, 4 against the Yankees. Took something off that pitch and missed. 2 balls and a strike to Pujols. Travis Wood, 23 years old, and he has flirted with immortality already in his career. 2-1 pitch grounded foul in his 3rd career start in Philadelphia back in July. He had a perfect game broken up in the 9th inning by Carlos Ruiz. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pujols. John Jay, the runner at first. 1 out, bottom of the 1st inning. Now Albert Pujols 0 for his last 16 official at-bats. He did have a sacrifice fly last night. His longest skid, 0 for 17. He did that back in 2001 when he was a rookie for the Cardinals.
Of course, that's been a big problem for the Cardinals, who have scored only 16 runs in the last 7 games. There is Matt Holliday, the other half of the big 1-2 punch for the Cardinals offense, which has been in a drought lately. Throw to first and thrown away. And John Jay going to second base, and the ball stopped by the tarp, and Jay will be able to go to third. Here comes the throw, not in time, and the Cardinals have a runner at third. And an error will be charged to Travis Wood.
Dusty Baker, talking about young players at the beginning of the game, said he loves their enthusiasm, but sometimes the thinking's not there. I mean, you've got a 3-run deficit here with Albert Pujols at the plate. There is no way John Jay's going anywhere. So why risk a throw to first base?
And now with 1 out, the count 3-2 to Pujols, looking to get at least 1 run back. And he pops it up to the right side of the infield and throws his bat in disgust. And Joey Votto makes the catch for out number 2. So Wood gets the tough Albert Pujols. They like Travis Wood, Ken.
Dick, he turned his career around after the 2008 season when he began training with a famous pitcher from a neighboring town outside of Little Rock, Cliff Lee. Travis Wood was coming off a tough season at Double-A. Lee was coming off his Cy Young campaign. They trained together, they hung out together, they went duck hunting together, and they have ever since.
Something's rubbed off on him, Tim, huh?
Right near Little Rock, the duck hunting capital of the world, Stuttgart, Arkansas.
Sounds like you've been there.
I've been there.
Matt Holliday fouling off the first pitch for a strike. Holliday hitting 300 and matching his last year's total in home runs with 24. He has knocked in 83. There's John Jay, who is at third with 2 out now. And there's a ground ball off the glove of Scott Rowland. And the throw to first by Cabrera, too late, and the Cardinals get a run. Jay comes around and scores, and Holliday is safe at first base. It'll be a base hit for Holliday and his 84th RBI.
And don't think it's a surprise to see Matt Holliday swing at the first pitch. Throughout his career, he has had over 600 at-bats where he has swung at the first pitch. That's almost a season's worth of first ball swinging. So he is the quintessential first ball hitter in Major League Baseball.
Well, if you like it, swing at it.
Absolutely. Why wait?
Here's Nick Stavanoa, who is starting in right field today. Stavanoa was recalled on Wednesday. He came up earlier in August and was on the opening day roster and hitting a very healthy .320 here at Busch Stadium. 3-1, the Reds lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Trying to work inside against Stavanoa, and Wood falls behind 2-0.
So far, all 4 runs that have been scored, 3 by the Reds, 1 by the Cardinals, have been caused by errors. The error by Aaron Miles and the error by Travis Wood.
A softer toss over to first base this time, as Holliday did not have much of a lead. After the Reds were swept by the Cardinals, they've gone 14-5, and the Cardinals gone the other way, 6-12 since they took 3 from the Reds. Stavanoa hits a fly ball to right field. Coming over is Chris Heisey, and he makes the catch to retire the side, but the Cardinals get a run. Tim mentioned unearned, and after 1 here in St. Louis, it's 3-1 Cincinnati. by Gillette is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Sprint, the Now Network, and by the new Ford Fiesta. It's a pretty big deal.
What a great shot. Man.
Temperatures got down into the high 50s last night. And you would think, you know, in this area in the Midwest around this time of the year, you'd be in the 90s all the time. It's been a very sizzling summer, but it's beautiful this weekend. And Heisey on the first pitch from Adam Wainwright gets a base hit to left field. That is the third hit of the game for the Reds. So Chris Heisey is aboard. And right now, time for our Ford Keys to the Game.
Yeah, the one thing from a Cincinnati standpoint, you want to win one of the games either today or tomorrow, and that way you don't get swept. From a Cardinals standpoint, they have 30 games to make up 7. 7 games out with 30 to play. Miracles happen, but it's going to be tough.
Travis Wood and Feliz coming in looking for the bunt. And the pitch taken for a strike. Not only do the Cardinals have 30 left, but they have no days off the rest of the year. 30 games in 30 days.
Talking to Tony La Russa about that, they have a makeup game on September 20th against the Florida Marlins. And Tony said he would rather have it that way, because if they get on a run, he doesn't want days off.
Wood is 3 for 27. And diving back is Heisey. Adam Wainwright trying to hold the Reds at bay. They're the #1 hitting team in the National League. Scored more runs than anyone. Heisey with the lead at first base. And Feliz practically on top of Wood, and there's the bunt. Perfectly placed. It's a great bunt. Pujols to Miles covering for the sacrifice. You can't get it any better than that.
But Travis Wood was flying down the line. You don't see a pitcher who can run that fast. The bunt, first of all, is perfect. Albert Pujols is forced to barehand it. And I mean, Travis Wood is just motoring down the line, and they got him by about a quarter of a step.
There he is, head down, charging, and the throw taken by Miles at first. So now the Reds with a runner at scoring position, and Brandon Phillips, who struck out his first time up, now 0 for 5 in this series. Remember, he started that brawl by tapping the shin guard of Yadier Molina. And it was the wrong guy at the wrong time in the wrong place to do that. Got jammed and fouls it down the third base line. It's got a lot of headlines.
A nasty scrum in Cincinnati. There's the pounding of the shin guard. Molina takes exception to it after the remarks Phillips made. Now both benches, both bullpens empty, and the scrum begins. And it was nasty.
And there were a lot of suspensions as a result of that. There's the breaking ball, blocked nicely by Molina. Jason LaRue was suffered a concussion. Johnny Cueto was suspended 7 games.
There's Cueto. He was circled in the lower left-hand corner, kicking Chris Carpenter and Jason LaRue in the face. LaRue suffering a concussion. Carpenter with wounds on his back.
Low and away, and it's 2-1. And LaRue, a valuable backup catcher to Yadier Molina, out for the season. And Johnny Cueto with a 7-game suspension. And he is not here. He's attending to family matters in the Dominican Republic, so he didn't even make this trip to St. Louis. And both managers were suspended for a couple of games, Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa. And Wainwright, keeping the ball away from Phillips, falls behind 3-1 now.
The Cardinals went on to sweep that series. By the way, they won 3 in a row. And since that time, I think everybody in baseball thought, boy, that could be the thing that the Cardinals needed. And the Cardinals swept. They won the first game against the Cubs the following night. Then they faced Zambrano, Carpenter and Zambrano on that Saturday game, a game that we did on August 14th. And since that time, the Cardinals have gone precipitously down, and the Reds have just gone straight up.
Back if you want to take a look. Cardinals had a 1-game lead through August the 11th, and now it's a 7-game deficit, and we're into September. 3 balls and a strike to Brandon Phillips. Heisey with a single, sacrificed to second, and it's a call strike. Phillips was on his way to first, and the crowd lets him know it.
Predictable reaction by the St. Louis crowd. Wainwright gets the call. That ball could have been off the plate.
3-2 to Phillips with Cabrera on deck. Curveball and a shot, and avoiding it is Heisey into center field for a base hit by Phillips, and coming around to score is Heisey to give the Reds a 4-1 lead, and Phillips gets the booze but gets an RBI single.
How in the world did Heisey avoid that ball? The ball looked like it went between his legs. He hurdled the ball. He did.
Boy, that's agility at its finest.
It's athleticism. It certainly was. One more time.
That's impressive.
How did miss him?
I don't know, but he was sharp, and Phillips now with 51 runs batted in on the year gets a little revenge on the Cardinal fans coming back after going 0 for 5 in the series. So it's now 4-1. 1 out. Cabrera, he singled to left his first time and takes the call strike. Oh and 1 to Cabrera, and the Reds, not the top hitting team and the run scoring team for nothing in this league. Joey Votto is waiting on deck. Foul out of play. 0-2 to Cabrera.
Orlando Cabrera and Edgar Renteria, 2 of the very few players who have come from Colombia. They're from Cartagena, Colombia, and they have a huge following on satellite TV of everybody watching the game today. Responsible for the baseball interest in Colombia, those 2 players.
1 ball and 2 strikes. There goes Phillips, and the throw to second in time.
Oh, what a play by Molina. That's a good play by Phillips. You're 3 runs up. You want to press things. You want to take chances. But Molina, who is not fast afoot, is very quick with his feet behind the plate. He got to the ball quickly. I don't think there's a catcher in baseball who retrieves the ball and throws that well on a play that Molina just made. That was a terrific play by Yadier Molina.
Worth his salary with that kind of play alone.
He is something.
Aaron Miles putting the tag on, so Phillips is caught stealing for the second out, and the count to Cabrera, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Molina reminds me of Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson was a slow runner, and his first 2 steps were very quick at third base. Molina, a slow runner, very quick feet behind the plate.
Fastball, Cabrera takes it for strike 3. The Reds add a run, and it's 4-1 as the Cardinals bat in the second. is sponsored by Budweiser. With a full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. The famed arch here in St. Louis, towering over Busch Stadium as the Cardinals bat in the second inning, trailing 4-1. Yadier Molina, who made that great throw after the block to get that second out in the top of the second, hitting .258, 5 homers, 48 runs batted in. And a strike on the outside corner. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. By the way, Molina leading the National League catchers in assists this year. And
every year since 2004, he is something behind the plate.
Molina will be followed by Pedro Feliz and Brendan Ryan against 23-year-old Travis Wood. Chop to third base. Big hop for Rowland, who makes the first out. Well, the Cardinals, as we know, have had a drought offensively. Let's check in with Ken Rosenthal with more.
Dick, they certainly have. And people talk about the trade of Ryan Ludwig and how it has really affected the Cardinals' offense. And it has. But the fact of the matter is that Ludwig hasn't hit much since going to San Diego. John Jay's numbers are about as good. And there have been a lot of other things that have gone wrong. They're below average offensively at second base, shortstop, and third, also at catcher. John Mozeliak, the GM, tried to claim some people in the August waiver period, but nobody got through to him, so the Cardinals were unable to add another hitter.
All right, Ken, and of course, looking ahead, Tim, the signing of Pujols has to be number one on the important list for the Cardinals as Feliz grounds to Cabrera. 2 ground balls, 2 outs here in the Cardinals' second.
It was number one on the list of Walt Jocketty, then general manager, back in 2003. And now, number one on Walt Jocketty's list, who's the GM of the Reds, is the signing of Joey Votto. Joey Votto's only making $525,000 this year. $525,000. One of the biggest steals. There's Walter, and he's going to be our guest at the top of the 5th inning. So we'll ask him.
Great ironies in baseball.
Oh, really?
Brendan Ryan. And he takes a fastball for a strike from Travis Wood. It was Walt Jocketty, who's the general manager, and then the next year, after winning a World Series, told to depart, and then ends up in Cincinnati. And here are the Reds with a 7-game lead over his former team, the Cardinals. One ball, 1 strike. Foul out of play. And speaking of Joey Votto, he'll be the leadoff hitter for the Reds when they come to the plate in the third. Ryan is hitting only .219 with 2 homers and 27 runs batted in. As Ken Rosenthal said, was one of the areas where the Cardinals have suffered offensively this year. David Freese got hurt, and he was a pretty good run producer, the rookie third baseman. 2-2 to Ryan. Off the fist and a fly ball to Gomes, shading his eyes from the sun, and a 1-2-3 inning for Travis Wood. Joey Votto will be leading off. It's 4-1 Reds, and we will return to St. Louis after a word from your local Fox station. Here is the sprint player first for him, leading the National League with 97 runs batted in. Heart of the order against Adam Wainwright. And the first pitch taken for ball one. Votto reached on the error by Aaron Miles that opened up a 3-run first inning for Cincinnati. They lead it 4-1. Breaking pitch down low, 2-0. Votto last year had a career year for him, 322, 25 homers and 84 runs batted in. He has surpassed that, the batting average about the same. 2-0 pitch, fly ball deep to left field. Matt Holliday going back on the track, and Holliday off the wall, might have mistimed that leap, and Votto going into second with a double.
I think that ball landed to the side of Holliday's glove. I really couldn't tell. Yeah, actually jumped over it. Watch how high he jumps, and the ball lands about elbow high. But it was to the right.
Right, he went up with the ball, but he wasn't close to it.
That's the thing about Votto. Votto, like Pujols, and like Carlos Gonzalez, have good power the other way.
Scott Rowland walked his first time up. Votto at second, nobody out. The Reds leading 4-1 here in the third, and threatening again, 1-0 to Rowland.
Anybody who leads the league in hitting is going to hit the ball the other way a lot. We were talking about it before the game, Dick.
How many pull hitters can we name who have been in this position?
Well, I think the last pull hitter who won a batting title was Ted Williams in 1958. And since then, most of the guys, if not all of the guys who have won batting titles, have hit the ball the other way.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0 to Rowland. That's why a lot of the batting champions were not big sluggers. They were singles hitters who could go the opposite way. Here's Rowland, who's 17 home runs through June and only 2 since. Wainwright behind 3-0 to Rowland with Ramon Hernandez on deck. There's a strike. 3-1 now. Reds scored 3 in the first inning. 1 out single by Cabrera, and then Joey Votto's ground ball through the legs of Aaron Miles. And after a walk to Rowland, a ground ball got 1 in, and then Johnny Gomes knocked in 2 with a double. They added another run on a Brandon Phillips single in the second. On the outside corner, and so for the second time, one of the Reds hitters. It was Phillips the first time, and now Rowland started their move to first. Count is full.
Well, Scott Rowland obviously does not intend to show up home plate umpire Larry Vanover. He just thought that pitch was outside and took off toward first base. Normally umpires do not like that when the players start walking first. Little delayed call from Vanover.
Rowland stays alive. Count remains 3-2. Reds already have 5 hits in the game, and it seems that they've had men in scoring position throughout this early contest, all the time. Here's the payoff pitch. Another foul ball out of play.
Talking to Johnny Gomes before the game, and Johnny was saying that the Reds this year remind him of the Tampa Bay Rays of 2008, who went to the World Series. Johnny, a member of that team.
And a foul ball.
He said, you know, when you think about it, the Reds are flying under the radar. They have a guy like David Price, who was the talented young left-hander, who's now a starter for the Rays and having a great year. But in Aroldis Chapman, they have that man who is eligible for the for the postseason. And if you get a chance to see him today, folks, you will be fortunate.
Well, we're looking forward to having Walt Jocketty up here to talk a little bit
That's
about
right.
it.
I mean, he is really something. He won his first major league game on Wednesday night against Milwaukee. He is that gentleman right there to the right of your screen. 6'4", 230 pounds, throws the ball 105 miles an hour.
And Roland strikes out. Big first out. Well, Saturday baseball on Fox, presented by Gillette, returns next week. You will see either the Cardinals at the Braves or the Phillies at the Mets. And you've got 3 of the 4 contending teams in the National League. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern, so check your local listing. 4 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright. It brings Ramon Hernandez to the plate. Hit a slow chopper to shortstop, but it was good enough to get a run home for the Reds in the first inning. Joey Votto on at second base, swinging at the first pitch and a fly ball. John Jay checking out the sun, makes the catch. Votto tagging up and will go to third without a throw, and there are 2 down. And Johnny Gomes coming to the plate. And it was Gomes who hit a shot over the head of Matt Holliday in the first inning and knocked in 2 runs. And here's the 6th man in the lineup already with 74 runs batted in, which we talked about. That's Holliday. And obviously the sun is a factor here. And with the shadows later will be more of a story, as Dusty Baker pointed out last night. Two down and Votto at third. 1-0 to Gomes. Gomes keeps it going. Drew Stubbs will be coming up for the Reds. One ball, one strike. Gomes drove in only 51 runs last year. Gets jammed in a pop-up. Pujols has a play and makes it in foul territory to retire the side. So Votto gets the leadoff double, but Wainwright pitches out of it. And in the middle of the third inning, it's the Reds over the Cardinals 4-1. Adam Wainwright swinging at the first pitch. Fly ball to Gomes in left field. The sun a factor again, and there's one out. And Dusty Baker, the manager of the Reds, who's in first place, and of course, with the injury to Jay Bruce, really had to shuffle things around with a minimum of outfielders.
Yeah, well, it's been like that for a while now, about a week now. So, hey, we just got to go with what we got and hope our guys come through. And so far, so good.
Dusty, with this starting time and the shadows coming out, we understand you told Ken Rosenthal that the middle innings could be Chapman time.
Well, it could be, I tell you, because it's going to be hard to see. Because yesterday we had batting practice right around 5 o'clock. So, you get around those middle innings, boy, it's going to be tough to see. So, yeah, it could be Chapman time. Depends how Woody's throwing out there.
Hey, Dusty, thanks very much.
All right, you guys. See you later.
Dusty.
All right.
So Dusty Baker has a chance to become only the second manager to lead a team to postseason for 3 different clubs. Billy Martin did it with 4 teams. 0-2 pitch to Aaron Miles, and it's called strike 3. So twice Aaron Miles has been called out on strikes, and there are 2 down. Well, Aaron Miles in the lineup. Nick Stavanoa. What about this lineup, Ken Rosenthal, for the Cardinals today?
Well, Dick, some of my fellow writers on Twitter are questioning that lineup, and I'm sure some fans are too. But what Tony La Russa is trying to do is get as many right-handed bats in the lineup as possible. Travis Wood is holding left-handed hitters coming into this game to a .093 batting average. The big question, though, is John Jay over Colby Rasmus in center. Both are left-handed hitters. Tim was with me before the game when La Russa said he has absolutely no problem with Colby Rasmus, but there's been a lot of speculation to the contrary here in St. Louis.
Yeah, that has been an issue talked about for a while, but as far as John Jay is concerned, he is hitting lefties better than right-handed pitchers. .356 against lefties, pretty solid. And he singled his first time up. Fouls this one off, and it's 1-2.
Tony telling Ken and me that he had no issue whatsoever with Cody Rasmus. He just thinks that Cody Rasmus tries to pull the ball too much. He has 19 home runs, and it's Tony's feeling, it's Mark McGwire's feeling, that Colby Rasmus can hit more home runs if he hits the ball straight away instead of rolling that top hand over. There's Mark McGwire,
who's really enjoying his first year as hitting coach for the Cardinals.
But what miffs Tony is that people are characterizing that as him having an issue with Rasmus. He said, because you disagree with a particular hitter, that doesn't mean you have an issue with it. It just means that you would prefer him to take a different approach at the plate and don't try to pull the ball as much. Tony thinking he'd be a lot better off, and the Cardinals would be a lot better off, and he'd be a much better player if he took that approach as opposed to that top hand over and trying to pull the ball.
Rasmus had been injured, and his return figures to be a key for the Cardinals because of his run production. That pitch is inside to Jay, and the count is 3-2.
That's kind of the word of this decade, though, along with a few others, is issues. It's having issues with him or her or them.
Just an out-and-out argument, disagreement.
Yeah.
Ball 4, Jay is on with 2 out. That is the first walk issued by Travis Wood. That'll bring up Albert Pujols, who popped up his first time up with a runner at third.
Now that's a different type of issue.
Right. One with a D on it at the end. First pitch, ball 1 to Pujols. Reds leading 4-1. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And there's a breaking pitch over for the strike.
That was that changeup that we talked about in the scouting report. Very, very good pitch that he learned when he was a junior in high school.
Well, he doesn't pitch as a rookie, does he?
No, he
Got a lot of
does
pulls.
not. Nope.
Ground ball, backing up is Roland, going over to second for the force. Not an easy play at all to Phillips, and that'll retire the side. One left for the Cardinals. We go to the fourth. The Reds up 4-1. Watch your favorite team wherever you live, only on DirecTV. By Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Warner Brothers Pictures. The Town. In theaters everywhere, September 17th. Bottom third of the Reds' order facing Adam Wainwright in the fourth inning. And Drew Stubbs takes a curveball for a strike. He struck out looking his first at-bat. The curveball fouled off, and Wainwright is ahead of him, 0-2. Dick Stockton along with Tim McCarver, Ken Rosenthal, as the Shadows begin to make their way out to the home plate area here. Stubbs distinguished with home runs and stolen bases this year. Fly ball to center field. Jay coming in late makes the catch. Good late speed by Jay, and Stubbs is retired. Caught up with Tony La Russa, and Adam Wainwright had to get out of that first inning. Gave up 3 runs, all unearned because of the error, but it settled down.
Well, one of the things he's great about, he just shrugs that off, and it looked like he might get away with just a 1 run. Made a really good pitcher in Hernandez. But then he got behind Gomes and gave him a pitch to hit. But, I mean, he's great. Almost worked out of that. Look what he did here in the third inning. At second base, nobody out with the Miller lineup, and they didn't score.
Tony, you had one of the greatest lines in the paper the other day saying that if you had more experience in a situation like this, or guys who have experience in explaining a situation like this aren't around very long.
Well, let's talk about struggling. As a rule, there's not a lot of patience with your ownership or front office or fans, or if you start getting beat too often, somebody else is going to do the job.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Nice talking to you, Dick, and you, Tim.
What a polite manager, huh? Izzy goes down.
Tony pulling our collective legs. I could have posed that question and that situation a little better, I think. The question was asked by Derek Gould of the Post here in St. Louis. How do you handle a streak like this? This was after the Cardinal loss on Thursday afternoon. And that's when Tony said, you know, if you had a lot of experience in a situation like this, if I could explain it well, then I wouldn't be around, because that means I've had a lot of experience in situations like that. I thought it was one of the very revealing lines that a manager could make, because Tony, when you think about it, throughout his managerial career, he hasn't had many situations like the last 3 weeks the Cardinals have faced.
He's never been this far behind in this stage.
Or seen his team do as poorly and to feel as helpless as he has over this horrible stretch the Cardinals have gone through.
Heisey got a new bat and strikes out for 2 away. Well, pick a stat, pick a player, build your baseball hot streak. Correctly pick 10 straight and win a Fox Sports baseball cap. You could join hundreds of others who are already wearing theirs. The current longest streak is at 23, held by James Early. And Travis Wood with a drive. And it is gone. A home run for Travis Wood. His first Major League home run, and the Reds have taken a 5-1 lead. With 2 out, Wood hits a drive to left field.
There are 5 members of Travis Wood's family that is here to see him hit his first Major League home run. His mother and father, Dina and Jay Wood, his brother-in-law and his brother-in-law's wife, and his wife, Brittany, travel from Little Rock, Arkansas to see Travis Wood not only have a start, but to hit his first Major League home run, and you have every reason to smile.
Here is Brandon Phillips, and I think we can say this safely as you see the home run, is that his father, Jay, works for Anheuser-Busch in Arkansas.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that right?
Yes.
How about that? That's a free pop.
What a tie-in. 1-0 the count to Phillips, who's 1 for 2 with a single and then was caught stealing. Lifts this in the air to center field. Jay calls for it and makes the catch.
Maybe this is the first inning.
It's the first, and the first for Wood. 5-1 Reds. The Reds lead the Cardinals 5-1. Cardinals batting in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Travis Wood, who helped his own cause with his first Major League home run, will be facing Matt Holliday, Nick Stavanoa, and Yadier Molina. Holliday singled off of Scott Rowland's glove. One of two hits for the Cardinals, and takes inside ball one.
Dick, along the lines of the unusual, Travis Wood, of course, is a left-handed pitcher who bats right-handed. There are only two position players in baseball this year that are active who are right-handed batters and left-handed throwers. Ryan Ludwig of the San Diego Padres and Cody Ross.
And he would be the only pitcher.
There are only 514 players in the history of the game who were right-handed batters and left-handed throwers. That's including pitchers. So you're dealing with a very unusual set of circumstances when you bat right-handed and throw left-handed.
The numbers for Travis Wood, and the count 2-1 to Matt Holliday, and he pops it up to the right side, short right field. Tough play, and coming over to make the catch is Chris Heisey. Good play with Votto and Phillips right there as well. And the Sun wreaking havoc there. And there's one down here in the fourth inning. That'll bring up Nick Stavanoa. Fly to right his first time up. Out in front of that one, fouls it off for a strike.
Boy, that is a vintage changeup by Wood. When hitters make contact with a changeup, it's like making solid contact with cotton candy.
How about a broken back roller to shortstop? Cabrera throws out Stavanoa for the second out. And time for a DirecTV game break. DirecTV, the only way to watch every MLB game in HD. Jim Thome with a 5-0 Minnesota lead hits a solo home run off of Colby Lewis. And this home run ties Mark McGwire for 9th all-time home runs at 583. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. Jim Thome's played for just about everyone in that division. Yadier Molina swings and comes up empty, strike one. Two down here in the fourth inning. Molina bounced to Rowland his first time up. Gets jammed in a pop-up. And going out to make the play is Cabrera. Terrific play by Cabrera on the short pop-up, and a 1-2-3 inning for Travis Wood. Second time today for Wood. We go to the fifth. It's 5-1. Cabrera here in the 5th inning. Cabrera 1 for 2 with a single, and he scored one of the runs, and the first pitch is in for a strike. And we're pleased to have with us Walt Jocketty, the Vice President and General Manager of the Cincinnati Reds, whose team leading the Cardinals by 7 coming into this game. And the ironies of baseball, we were talking about that earlier. You were here, very successful World Championship team, and now you're in Cincinnati.
Right, and I enjoyed my time here. It was a great time, got a great run and won a World Championship, and in the postseason for a few years, and now I have the opportunity to run another organization and try to do the same thing, and it's been great. We've got a lot of great young talent, of good ownership with Bob Castellini and his group that have supported us all along, and it's made it very enjoyable.
1 out on the fly ball to left field.
Walter, what can you tell us? And I saw both of his games on television, as did Dick, this week. His first win on Wednesday night. But this Aroldis Chapman is going to take this sport by storm.
He's a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you, it was so exciting when he came into the game the other night and made his debut. And they put his picture up on the screen when he was warming up in the bullpen, and the people got excited. And then he came in, and it was amazing. It really is. Look at this. It looks like a championship celebration or something. But
it's
he came
like a
in
postseason game.
I mean, and he just came in and was dominating. It's going to be fun to watch.
103-mile-an-hour fastball, maybe higher than that, and a breaking ball that was about close to 90.
He had a slider that was devastating. It was fun to see. See it there.
I talked to Bob Gibson last night for about a half an hour. And the only thing he wanted to know was about Chapman.
Oh, really?
He quizzed me for 20 minutes about Chapman. He wanted to know his wingspan. He said, how tall is he? I said, he's 6'4", weighs 230 pounds.
Right.
And it seems like his arms are extra long, like he's got an extra 2 inches on his arms.
But, you know, he has such a free and easy, fluid delivery. It's remarkable. And, you know, you hope that everything goes well for him and continues to be successful.
You know, Bob Gibson doesn't ask about other pitchers often.
No,
right.
That's right.
I know Gibby pretty well. You're right.
So that's a testimony right there. You know, we were reading about your history and your background, and it's interesting about the people that were influential for you as Joey Votto hits a fly ball to Jay for the second out. And the name Billy Martin came up. I read the influence of Billy Martin for you.
Yeah, Billy was my first years in Oakland in the early 80s, was the manager, and he took a liking to me for some reason and was very helpful in teaching me a lot of things about the game and just how to, you know, and teaching me about loyalty and honesty and your word is your bond and things like that. And you know, Billy was a very interesting guy, and I'm sure you guys got to know him, but he was good to me. You know, a lot of tough times, but some good times as well.
Did you think the Reds' rise would come this fast?
Well, you know, I'll tell you, Dick, I didn't know we would be, let me put it this way. When we went to spring training, we told our club, both Dustin and I spoke to the players before spring training and before the first game. And we told them we thought we had the talent to be competitive and compete. And we believe that. We believe that we had a club that should be strong enough to be in contention. And, you know, we've really played well, and I think Dusty's done a great job of getting guys playing well. We finished the season well last year, which I think was a good springboard going into this year. And
you won 27 out of your last 40
games,
year.
Correct. And it just carried through this year, and it's a fun club to watch. It's a young club with some good veterans and a nice mix of players.
Tim, at the beginning of the game, talked about somebody who had a bead on the Reds being a strong team.
Oh, Whitey Herzog.
Oh, really?
And in the second week of the season, he said publicly, we were doing that game, that 20-inning game,
right.
Mets and the Cardinals, and Whitey.
Aaron Miles going to his left. Makes the play.
Whitey made the comment that the only team in this division that could upseat the Cardinals was the Cincinnati Reds. And
really?
He was right. Yeah.
Well, you know, he's a very good judge of talent, obviously.
He certainly
so that makes me feel pretty good that he felt that way.
Yeah.
I think he dropped the ball.
Yes, runner is safe, and at first base, So an infield hit as Pujols on the scoop could not hold on. So Scott Rowland is on at first base, and that'll bring Ramon Hernandez to the plate with 2 out and a runner on.
Well, we saw how important defense is in the first inning.
Right.
All 4 runs came because of errors. But the one thing the Reds can do is catch the ball.
Well, that's one thing we concentrated on, Tim, was trying to improve our defense. You know, I've always felt that pitching and defense win games, win championships, and our offense has really taken off this year too. And Brooke Jacoby's done a great job, and Dusty works with the hitters as well. But you know, pitching and defense is very, very important. And our defense made our pitching that much better, and we've been coming up with a timely hitting, and so far things are working well.
Well, Walt, we're very pleased with your opportunity, making the most of it, and Dusty Baker, after his time in Chicago, having success.
Right. It's been great.
Yeah.
And you still got a lot of friends here in St. Louis.
I do. Yeah, I still have a lot of friends, and so it's kind of bittersweet coming back here, you know.
I bet.
But it's always a pleasure.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Hernandez, who's 0 for 2, but drove in a run on a ground out. Rowland, who was safe on that infield hit, and 7 hits for the Reds. They've had a hit, at least 1 in every inning thus far, in front 5-1. Hernandez strikes out to end the inning. Walt Jocketty, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Dick. Good to see you.
Continued success. 5-1, the Reds lead as the Cardinals come up in the bottom of the 5th. Gillette Odor Shield Antiperspirant. Help eliminate odor. Don't just cover it up. And it's the Cardinals trailing 5-1, and Travis Wood facing the Redbirds for the first time in his career. It'll be the bottom third of the St. Louis order. Pedro Feliz, Brendan Ryan, and Adam Wainwright scheduled to bat third. And the first pitch, a changeup outside to Feliz, who grounded to short. Jason Mott is up and throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. And there's a fastball, and the count 1-1. That's a breaking pitch, 2-1, the count to Feliz.
It is getting progressively tougher to see here at Busch Stadium. That shadow about halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate.
Count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There you see the shadows spreading. Feliz picked up in a trade with the Houston Astros on the 19th of August. Spent 8 years with the Giants, 2 years with the Phillies. And a good defensive third baseman. When Freese got hurt, rookie out of action. There was a gap at third base for the Cardinals. Fastball is in tight. 3-2. Strike 3, and Feliz goes down. Well, we said that Travis Wood's family was here today, and right now Ken Rosenthal in with his mother and father, Dina and Jay. Ken.
Here we are, Dick, and here is Dina and Jay. They drove down from Bryan, Arkansas, about 6 hours. All right, both of you, I want the answer to this question. What's more exciting, seeing him pitch like this or hit a home run?
Home run.
Home run, for sure. Both of them are exciting, but that was really exciting.
Home run was awesome.
What's it been like seeing Travis ascend to the major leagues this year and pitch so well for the Reds?
It's been unbelievable. It's been so exciting to watch him.
Jay, your thoughts? You've seen him, I'm sure, like Dina, since the very beginning.
We're just sitting back and enjoying every minute of it, every game, and trying to get as many games as we can. So we're excited for him.
Are you guys superstitious at all?
Very.
What kinds of things do you do?
Well, this is one thing I don't do is when he's pitching, I don't stand up. But so far, so good. He hit a home run a while ago, so I'm cool with it.
At home, I can't, once he's on the mound, I can't get out of my chair. I have to sit there till he's through pitching. I can't take any phone calls, can't do anything. So.
Well, now I'm feeling guilty for interrupting you. You guys go sit down, enjoy it. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Dina. Oh, actually, Jay and Dina. Guys, back to you.
All right, Ken, thank you very much.
Oh,
Brendan Ryan with a fly ball in the left center field, and Stubbs makes the catch for out number 2. You know, Travis Wood at 16 led his Bryan team to the Babe Ruth World Series. He threw a no-hitter, and on the trip home to Arkansas, his team stopped here in St. Louis, and they saw the Cardinals play at Old Busch Stadium. So he's been here before as a spectator, as Randy Wynn steps in as a pinch hitter for Adam Wainwright.
The one thing Ken Rosenthal learned was that if the Reds do make it to the National League Championship Series, to interview Dina and Jay sitting down. They don't want to stand up while Travis is pitching.
Especially Dina.
That's
that was great.
Well, yeah, and then Jay said he didn't want to get up if he's watching him on television. That is fabulous.
Randy Wynn, there they are watching their son. Boy, you can't get refreshments, you know. If he's coming up, you got to watch it now with his home run power. His
That's right.
Major League round tripper. 2 down quickly here in the 5th inning. No one out, no one on, and the switch hitting Randy Wynn takes outside. Wynn hitting .265 with 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. And Wynn is 5 for 27 as a pinch hitter with a home run and 3 runs driven in. Jason Mott in the bullpen for the Cardinals. The count 2-2. Reds comfortably in front 5-1. 3-2 now to Wynn, with Aaron Miles at the top of the order on deck. Wynn has wielded a hot bat as of late. Stays alive.
Cardinals, however, with only 2 hits, and both those hits in the first inning. Well, the Cardinals have not had a hit since the first inning, and that has been more than anything, I think, the story of their last 3.5 weeks.
No question about that. In fact, the only base runner was a 2-out walk to John Jay in the third. And if it were that easy, everyone would be doing it. And that as far as getting a lot of hits and runs every game you play. Mark McGwire thought that when they don't hit for a while, batters kind of press. There's a line drive that's going to drop in front of Johnny Gomes. So Wynn has the third hit of the game for the Cardinals and the first since the first inning. 2-out single will bring Aaron Miles to the top of the order. Miles twice has been caught looking against Travis Wood. The count to Miles. Cardinals figured if they could win last night's game with Jaime Garcia and with Wainwright and Carpenter, they could be well on their way to a possible series sweep. That hasn't been the case. Fly ball to right field. Heisey makes the catch, and that'll do it. Wynn gets a pinch hit single, and he's stranded. And it remains 5-1 in favor of the Reds. And here is Travis Wood, who accounted for that 5th run with his first Major League home run to delight of his family in the stands today. Minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Denny's 2468 value menu. All day, every day. And by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty. And Jason Mott is the new Cardinal pitcher, making his 47th appearance of the year. Activated off the disabled list on Monday, and strike one to Johnny Gomes, who has a 2-run double back in the first inning, 1 for 2 on the day. Reds had 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the fourth to account for their runs. 1-1 the count to Gomes.
Jason Mott was on the DL because of a sore right shoulder. He is a converted catcher. It was 3 years ago, was a catcher and a hard thrower. Fastball, slider.
Last time he's pitched was August 2nd against the Astros. 3-2 is his record with a 2.70 earned run average. Gomes, Stubbs, and Heisey, the scheduled hitters for Cincinnati. 0-2 breaking ball is looped into center field, and it'll be a base hit. Gomes, with his second hit of the game, has a leadoff hit. Time now for a DirecTV game break. And here is Jim Thome once again. Second homer of the day, a 3-run shot off of Kobe Lewis. And Orlando Hudson and Michael Kadire score in front of him. And with that home run, Thome now holds 9th place for all-time homers with 584. He tied Mark McGwire earlier and surpasses him here. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. Drew Stubbs with a base hit to left field. And stopping at second is Johnny Gomes. So the Reds, with runners at first and second and nobody out. Minnesota coming in with a 4-game lead over the White Sox, who beat the Red Sox earlier today in the first half of their day-night doubleheader because of Hurricane Earl. And Manny Ramirez, coming back to Fenway Park, had 2 hits for the White Sox, who won that game 3-1. Chris Heisey, 1 for 2 with a single, and he scored one of the runs.
Of course, Manny had returned to Fenway Park this year as a member of the Dodgers when L.A. played there back in the middle of June. So it was his second trip to Fenway, and a couple of hits in that first game.
2 on, nobody out, and down low to Heisey, ball 1 from Mott. So the Minnesota Twins, who slumped at the All-Star break and has turned it on since, now with a 3.5-game lead over Chicago. Call strike 1-1 to Chris Heisey.
The thing about the American League, Dick, is the records of the Yankees and the Rays are so strong that one would have to think, barring a minor miracle, that the wild card is coming out of the American League East. So in the other 2 divisions, you almost have to win your division. You can't depend on a wild card. So the White Sox really have to turn it on if they expect to overtake Minnesota. Otherwise, no postseason for Ozzie Guillen.
2-1 pitch to Heisey, popped up Pujols toward the line. And in foul territory, Albert makes the catch. No advance. And there's one away. Runners remain at first and second. And those Twins with Ron Gardenhire always in the race. Right, Ken Rosenthal?
Yes, Dick. And this is actually a very big series in Minnesota because really the winner of that race between the Twins and the Rangers, it's not an actual race, but the one that finishes with the better record will be the one that gets home field advantage for the first round, playing most likely either the Yankees or Rays. You'd rather do it at home than start off on the road against either of those clubs. And the Twins today went into today's play with a 2.5-game edge over the Rangers. So they're looking good.
And they're 20 games over 500 at home as well. Looking for the bunt. Travis Wood coming to the plate, and he takes down low, ball 1. And if the playoffs were to start today in the American League, it would be the Yankees against the Rangers and the Rays and the Twins. Imagine the Red Sox are 17 games over 500 and really out of it at this point. 1-0 bunt down the third base line. Feliz only plays to first. That's the second terrific sacrifice. Travis Wood has had a great day at the plate, Tim.
I should say 2 sacks and his first major league home run. Perfect bunt. And did that get Dina and Jay out of their seats? No. She said standing up is bad luck, so she clapped sitting down.
They love fundamental baseball as well.
That's great.
So runners now at second and third with 2 away, and Brandon Phillips. Crowd still letting Phillips know what they think of him. The boos not as strong as they were last night and earlier today. Phillips responding with an RBI single today, 1 for 3, and the count 1-0. Reds with a 5-1 lead. Adam Wainwright worked 5 innings, allowed 5 runs, only 2 were earned. 7 hits, struck out 6, and didn't walk anyone. And those shadows really a factor here. 2-0.
Next Saturday will be the 25th anniversary of Pete Rose getting 4,193 hits off Eric Schau on September 11th, 1985. And I remember Pete's line once about being booed. He said, "I was never booed in a white uniform."
Shot to center field. Jay is right there to make the catch. So back-to-back singles, and the Reds don't score, but they have a 5-1 lead as the Cardinals bat in the 6th. Is presented by Gillette. Along with Tim McCarver and Ken Rosenthal, Dick Stockton with you here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Travis Wood and the Reds leading 5-1. John Jay leading off and taking strike 1. Jay has been on base twice today with a single and a walk. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. He scored the Cardinal run on Matt Holliday's infield hit in the first inning, and that's all the Cardinals have managed. Fouled at the plate, and it's 1-2. In fact, last night the Cardinals, really didn't break the door down. They scored only 3 runs. They managed to win that game 3-2. They held off the Reds after taking the 3-2 lead. So while the Cardinals broke their 5-game losing streak, they certainly haven't broken out of their slump.
Well, Travis Wood could have a shutout if it weren't for his throwing error in the first inning, stepping off and trying to pick Jay off of first base with Albert Pujols batting.
Here's Cabrera with a high throw, and the tag put on by Joey Votto.
Very good play. Errant throw by Cabrera to the home plate side, and watch Votto in one move come down and make the tag. Very nice.
So with 1 out, here's Albert Pujols, and the changeup misses ball 1. Blake Hawksworth up in the Cardinal bullpen. Pujols is 0 for 2 And now has set a personal record for consecutive at-bats, official at-bats without a hit. 18 now.
Oh, for his last 18 official at-bats. And it's staggering that he has never done that. Needs only 4 RBIs for his 10th consecutive 100 RBI season.
And Brandon Phillips can't handle this line drive, and Pujols is going to be safe at first base. It looked as if Phillips, who was in good position, was there to make the play. It's a hit.
A broken bat, it's got to be scored a hit. Phillips did all he could. So a broken bat hit, and Albert Pujols breaks that 0 for 18.
There's Hawksworth.
Snafu.
Matt Holliday singled and drove in his 84th run of the year in the first inning, and counting for the only St. Louis run. 1-0 to Holliday. Fly to right his last time. Pujols the base runner. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Reds leading 5-1. They've out hit the Cardinals 9-4, and now 2-0 to Holliday.
Now that should get a little activity, particularly if Holliday gets on. That should get some movement in the Cincinnati bullpen. I'm surprised somebody's not up right now.
And there's a line drive to center field. And right now, may be right now.
That'll give him up.
And Holliday and Pujols with sharp singles up the middle. One was the infield hit off of the glove. And runners now at first and second and 1 out. And Nick Stavanoa coming to the plate. And with the shadows at the mound, where's Mr. Chapman?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to be up in the Cincinnati bullpen right now with 2 out and 1. I mean, one pop, one swing of the bat, and the Cardinals are right back in this game.
Well, he's not getting up. Here's Stavanoa 0 for 2. And 1-0 to him. Travis Wood has allowed 5 hits. He allowed 2 in the first inning, 1 in the 5th, and 2 more here in the 6th.
There they go. Somebody off with his shirt or with the outer garment.
Check swing, strike. And Jeff Nelson signals it's a strike. And Aroldis Chapman, the left-hander, has gotten up and will begin to throw.
And Molina couldn't hold up. That looked like a slider out of the strike zone. Or Stavanoa, I beg your pardon.
Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrusek, who pitched last night, and Chapman throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. And they're not afraid to use him in back-to-back games. They did when he came up this past week. 1-2 to Stavanoa, and the count is even. 2 on and 1 out here in the 6th. The Cardinals trying to drum up a rally here, trailing 5-1. Wood now has thrown 86 pitches. And a ground ball to Phillips. Over to Cabrera, the throw to first, and the double play. And that ends the threat. 2 hits, 1 left. And we move to the 7th inning here at Busch Stadium, and Cincinnati leading St. Louis 5-1. Cardinals 8-5, before an 8, I should say, with a 5.13 earned run average, making his 31st relief appearance. Has started 8 games, facing Orlando Cabrera, who's 1 for 3, a single, and has scored a run, and he takes ball 1. Adam Wainwright looking for his 18th victory and trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Could wind up, if it stays this way, losing his 4th in a row. Worked the first 5 innings. Jason Mock pitched the last inning, and now Hawksworth. Two balls, no strikes. Joey Votto is on deck for the Reds. Votto's been on base twice. 2-1 or 3-1 now to Cabrera. Full count to Cabrera, who returned to action after missing 27 games with a strained left oblique. And on the disabled list August the 2nd, and he draws a leadoff walk from Hawksworth here in the 7th inning.
You know, Dick, we talked about Jim Thome hitting 2 home runs, number 583 and 584. Jim Thome, Ryan Howard, and Joey Votto all have a similar approach initially toward the hitter. They point the bat with their right hand, just like Votto's doing right there. It's a timing device, and obviously used very successfully by those 3 throughout their careers.
Votto doubled in the 3rd inning, scored a run when he reached on an error.
Watch Votto get set and point the bat. And he starts when the pitcher gets it to a stretch or his windup. That's his ritual before every pitch is thrown.
There was a slugger a long time ago in the 60s named Rocky Colavito who did the same thing, played for the Tigers and the Indians. And he did that. Not many players did that at that time. And a called strike. 1-1 to Votto, who is 1 for 3 and has scored a run. Battling for Triple Crown honors, something that hasn't been done since Carl Yastrzemski of the Boston Red Sox back in 1967. 1-1 changeup, pop foul to the left side, and this will drift out of play.
You know, here it is, a season where pitching is dominated. There have been 49 games with a 1-0 score. More shutouts since 1991, and yet 3 guys are vying for the Triple Crown in the National League. 1 in the American League, Miguel Cabrera. So that's 4 players vying for the Triple Crown in a year when pitching is so strong. And my point is, it's very interesting that in 1966, 67, and 68, pitching was at its apex, at its zenith. And you had a Triple Crown winner in 66 in Frank Robinson and a Triple Crown winner in 67 in Carl Yastrzemski. So, I mean, how ironic that the Triple Crowns have become so prevalent in ages where the pitching is the strongest. I don't really know what that means, but it seems to me that that's been the case. Well, I guess the cases of those 2 decades.
It's pretty unusual when you really analyze the fact that you think from 67 on we've had a lot of great years where hitters have dominated, and we haven't really had many people approaching that. There goes the runner, and the pitch is fouled off. So Votto fouls it off, and the count is 3-2. We've been talking about Votto and Pujols today, and what about the relationship between their 2, Ken Rosenthal?
Well, there is one, Dick, and they actually spoke yesterday. Votto asked Pujols about how he handles pressure both on and off the field. Votto, of course, is starting to get a higher profile. cover of Sports Illustrated and everything else. Now, the two share the same agent, Dan Lozano, but they don't have the same personality. Pujols said that Votto is so quiet, you have to say 100 words to him to get one in return.
Both play first base, and both leading their teams. There goes Cabrera, and the throw to second in time for the out. So Yadier Molina now has nailed 2 Reds caught stealing, and there are 2 down.
A changeup and a rocket, I mean a laser to second base, and Ryan applies the tag. Good jump by Cabrera, and he is a relatively easy out, gunned out by that strong arm of Molina.
And Molina threw out Brandon Phillips in the second inning on a ball that bounced in front of him, and Joey Votto flies to right field. That'll do it, and we go now to the bottom of the 7th inning, 5-1. The Reds. By Just for Men. For mustache and beard, keep your edge. By Verizon, the signal is yours. Wield it to transmit anything you want. Verizon. And by Napa. Napa knows how. And with Roland flying out to end the inning last inning for the Reds, marked the first time today they did not get a base hit in any inning. And the roll just Chapman throwing in the bullpen. And Salas is throwing for the Cardinals in theirs as Yadier Molina takes strike 1 from Travis Wood. Molina 0 for 2 today. One and one. Stroked out to right field. Foul ball. And here is today's Verizon game summary. So here's Travis Wood facing Adam Wainwright, who's been tremendous at home, and Wood pitching beautifully in his first career major league home run in the 4th inning. Wainwright giving up 2 earned runs in 5 innings, on the brink of losing his 4th game in a row. Molina grounds it to Roland. And he's out for the first out in the Cardinals' 7th inning.
Good play by Scott Rowland. In fact, Rowland makes that play look so easy. All in one motion. Sucking it up and making a strong throw. I know Molina doesn't run real well, but you just got to feel the excitement. I know this is the visiting team, the Cincinnati Reds, but the excitement with Chapman warming up and knowing what Walt Jocketty was saying in the 5th inning to us, what he did on Tuesday and Wednesday night, the reaction in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. I mean, this young man is the type of guy that you're going to be calling your friends and saying, Chapman's warming up.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. I'll guarantee you. He's almost impossible to hype too much.
And, of course, he's eligible for postseason. He was brought up by Walt Jocketty in time to be eligible for the Reds postseason if they make it.
105 miles an hour at which he has been clocked, and his slider is a 90-mile-an-hour disappearing slider. Folks, if you're a baseball fan, you just can't help but get caught up in this young man's future.
Brendan Ryan with 2 out, nobody on base. And Ryan fouls it off. And, of course, the question for Dusty Baker, how is he with men on base?
Dusty said, I don't know. Nobody's been on against him. I don't know what his move's like.
Ken Rosenthal, more on Mr. Chapman, who we hope to see.
Well, guys, here's something you don't hear about every pitcher. Chapman has vanity plates on his car. 102 mph for his Lamborghini, 101 mph for his Mercedes, and his interpreter, AAA Louisville trainer Tomas Vera, he told reporters yesterday that he texted Chapman's advisor asking for new plates, 104 and 105.
And they may go up even higher before he's through.
That's right.
2 balls and a strike with 2 outs to Brendan Ryan. Here in the 7th inning for the Cardinals, who have not shown much of an offense today. They had 2 hits, scoring their 1 run in the first. It was unearned.
It might be cheaper by the dozen. Just order plates 104 to 116. You might get a break on the deal.
Ball 4, and Ryan is on, and we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up for Hawksworth. But we'll remind you, next week the NFL regular season kicks off. A doubleheader on Fox. The Panthers battle the Giants in the New Meadowlands, or the Falcons face the Steelers, the Lions, and the Bears. In the second game of our doubleheader, it's the Packers taking on the Eagles. Could this be the year for Aaron Rodgers? Some will see the Cardinals and the Rams. And thinking about the Rams, they've got their young quarterback from Oklahoma who's going to be starting. Sam Bradford, who has been named the starting quarterback for the Rams, the first overall draft pick. Boy, the Rams need help, and this could be the start of a lot of enthusiasm in this city for football.
Well, it's certainly a lot of enthusiasm in this city for football today, as Missouri and Illinois started early this morning in the Rams football arena, which is about 5 blocks from Busch Stadium. So it's a big, big day here in St. Louis.
Pitch hitter Felipe Lopez.
Cardinals hoping to come back to make it bigger.
Yes. Switch hitter. With a runner at first and 2 out. And the count is 2-0. So Travis Wood now has thrown an even 100 pitches. And Chapman is the only hurler throwing in the Reds bullpen. One hopper to Cabrera, gets the force, and that will do it. And we move to the 8th inning. The Reds in front 5-1, trying to even this series at 1 apiece. ESPN Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th with the Division Series on TBS. Fernando Salas is the fourth pitcher of the day for the Cardinals. He has been up and down all season long. Called up for the 6th time late in August. No one-loss record in 17 appearances with a 1.74 earned run average in Ramon Hernandez, who was 0 for 3 but knocked in the first run for the Reds in the first inning. Swings and fouls it off for strike one. Reds very impressive on the road this year with a 37-29 record, and only the San Diego Padres have won more road games in the National League than the Reds. And the Cardinals, on the other hand, have not fared well on the road. That could be the main difference here as Gomes waits on deck. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, the teams that the Cardinals played on this most recent road trip, they went from Pittsburgh to Washington to Houston and ended up 2-8 against those 3 clubs. Now, granted, the Houston Astros are playing very, very well now, getting great pitching. Jay Happ, the acquisition from the Philadelphia Phillies, pitching very well, as is Wandy Rodriguez. But the Cardinals, I mean, if somebody had told you they were going to go 2-8 on that road trip before it happened, you'd have said no chance. But it happened.
They've only won 1 of their last 6 series.
And that was when they swept the Reds in Cincinnati.
2 balls and 2 strikes, losing 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. 3 out of 4 to Washington and 3 straight to Houston, in which they scored only 2 runs in the entire series, shut out twice.
Man.
And that's where the statistics are deceiving, because right now the Cardinals are second in the National League in hitting. But they have not hit in the clutch.
No.
Had a chance to get back in the 6th inning with back-to-back hits with 1 out, and a double play erased that opportunity. Hernandez with a deep fly to center field, and right off the glove of John Jay, and into second goes Ramon Hernandez. That's got to be one of the hardest hit balls we've seen all day.
John Jay is playing Hernandez into right center field. And that ball didn't have a lot of hang time to give John a chance to get back to make the play off the glove, and a double for Hernandez. I'll tell you, the catching core of Cincinnati, they are second in RBIs, second to the Atlanta Braves right now. You talk about getting offense and defense out of a very, very important position.
Johnny Gomes, who has driven in 2 runs today, and 3 so far in the series. Strike 1 to him. Gomes has 2 hits today with a double and a single in 3 at-bats. Cardinals, meanwhile, have not had an extra base hit. Sliced into short right field. Aaron Miles is out there to make the play. Hernandez remains at second, and there's 1 gone. Fox Sports is proud to team with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation during our 2010 MLB on Fox season. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation helps fund the most advanced and promising breast cancer research. Join the fight by texting CURE to 27722 to donate $10 or visit bcrfcure.org. Messaging and data rates may apply. Here's Drew Stubbs, rookie center fielder, taking strike 1. He hasn't hit in 3 trips today. And the count 1-1. Garcia winning last night, but Wainwright on the hook for the loss, and then Carpenter tomorrow. What about the Cardinals starting pitching, Ken?
Well, guys, we talk about the mysteries of the Cardinals seasons. One of them is that they have 3 starters with ERAs under 3, and they still might miss the playoffs. That is difficult to do. In fact, there have been only 4 teams since 1989 with 3 starters who had sub-3 ERAs. All of those teams made the playoffs. So there hasn't been a team since '89 in this position miss the playoffs. And again, it just points to the Cardinals' odd season.
No question about it, Ken. We talk about their hitting being down, but normally you say, well, if you have pitching, you're going to get there, right, Jim?
Yeah, individual pitchers, Adam Wainwright, Jaime Garcia, and Chris Carpenter, who goes tomorrow for the Cardinals. And, of course, you have Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday.
It's been strange.
It is weird. The primary culprit, I think, is the offense. I mean, the defense, the base running's been poor. The defense has been poor. But I believe the offense is where you really, you mentioned two runs scored in 3 games in Houston. I mean, you're not going to win any games with that paltry an offense.
In fact, the Cardinals have lost 6 of their last 7 games started by Carpenter and Wainwright.
Right.
Yonder Alonso is on deck. And it's Chapman who would be coming in for the Reds, and Alonso would be batting for Wood. 2-0 to Heisey with 2 out, and Hernandez on at second. He led off with a double. Big cut and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Travis Wood facing the Cardinals for the first time in his career. 7 innings, giving up 5 hits, no earned runs. There is our oldest Chapman. Fouled out of play. Ten hits for the Reds this afternoon. Denny's Reyes, left-hander up for the Cardinals. Nick Massett now starting to throw for the Reds. And the count now full to Heisey, who was 1 for 3. So Massett the righty and Chapman the southpaw. Here's the payoff pitch, strike 3, and that'll do it. Leadoff double by Hernandez. He's stranded there, and the Cardinals will come up in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4 runs down to the Reds. rookie Cuban left-hander Aroldis Chapman, and now we can see him making his third appearance of his Major League career and the first on the road, Tim McCarver.
And his last warm-up pitch was thrown at 102 miles per hour. That was his warm-up pitch.
And he'll face Aaron Miles, so Mr. Miles will be the first Cardinal to face Aroldis Chapman, who pitched one inning in back-to-back games and dazzled everyone and had that Cincinnati crowd, as was indicated by their general manager Walt Jocketty, on their feet.
You know, you try to think about this guy. He startles the senses of experienced baseball people.
Strike one, 101 miles an hour. Defected from Cuba in July of last year while his Cuba national team was playing in the Netherlands. 1-1.
That was the slider, which is even more devastating than his fastball. 6'4", 230 pounds. Extra long arms.
Fouled off the fastball. That too was 101.
Took up residency in Andorra, which is sandwiched in the eastern part of the Pyrenees between France and Spain, the 6th smallest country in Europe.
Great story of how youngsters get to pitch in the big leagues and want to do it so much. 103 miles an hour, and Miles just got a piece of that one, fouls it, and it's 1-2.
You can see that high leg kick and that great extension.
One-two pitch, a breaking ball up high, 88 miles an hour. That was the slider.
Yeah, he only has 2 pitches, but that slider works. When it's down, it disappears on you.
The 2-2 to Miles, and the pitch goes back. Ken Rosenthal, what about Chapman's command?
Well, that was the big question in spring training, really the big question after he signed with the Reds. But Chapman worked with the Reds' AAA pitching coach Ted Power and special assistant Mario Soto in the minors. His balance was shifting all over the place, but they got him to keep his head more still, more focused on the catcher, and he's taken off.
And Aaron Miles is thrown out. Cabrera to Bono, one away to John Jay. He appeared in 39 games and struck out 125 batters in AAA, walked 52.
He is the 25th Cuban-born player to play for the Cincinnati Reds. They've had 2 coaches, and they have 1 Hall of Famer, and that, of course, the great Tony Perez, who now works for the Florida Marlins.
John Jay takes inside for ball 1, and Albert Pujols is on deck. So Pujols on deck has been watching Aroldis Chapman and will get his chance. 2-0. Jay has a single and a walk in 3 trips, so he is 1 for 2 officially and has scored a run. Mike McDougal for the Cardinals. And that's down low, and Chapman falling behind 3-0 to Jay. And ball 4, 4 straight pitches, and John Jay gets on base, first base runner. And here comes Albert Pujols after Chapman walks Jay the first time he's had a man on base. This ought to be fun.
El Hombre against the only Aroldis in the history of baseball. The only player named Aroldis against El Hombre. What a matchup.
Pujols is 1 for 3. So 5 straight pitches for balls. for Aroldis Chapman. Nick Massett in the Reds bullpen. We showed you Mike McDougal for St. Louis in their bullpen. 5-1, the Reds lead, bottom of the 8th inning. They about hit the Cardinals 10-5. Big swing and a miss by Pujols, 100 miles an hour that time. And it's 2-1. That was 100 miles an hour as well.
You can see even the catcher, Ramon Hernandez, can't center the ball. If he can't center it, how's the hitter supposed to center it?
So 3 pitches to Pujols, all have been 100 miles an hour, and there's a ground ball gloved by Rowland, goes over to Phillips to throw to first in the dirt, and it's a double play. Pujols hitting into the double play. Second turned over by the Reds today. We go to the 9th. Cincinnati still up 5-1. Odor Shield Antiperspirant. Help eliminate odor. Don't just cover it up. By Michelin, a better way forward. And by State Farm, with 17,000 agents, we've got the best lineup in the game. And the Reds coming up in the 9th inning. Aroldis Chapman facing 3 batters, getting Miles on a ground ball, walking John Jay on 4 straight pitches, and then finally Albert Pujols hitting into an around-the-horn double play to end the inning. Mike McDougal is on for the Cardinals. He is the 5th pitcher of the day. And Cordero is warming up for the Cincinnati Reds. And we will have a pinch hitter. Yonder Alonso, a rookie, and up for only the 2nd time in his career. Batting in the pitcher spot. McDougal making his 11th appearance. Worked last Saturday at Washington. And the first pitch, ball 1. Cardinals winning last night 3-2. Took the 3-run lead in the first 2 innings and then held off the Reds, who scored single runs in the 3rd and 4th. And today, the Reds struck early, helped by the error by Aaron Miles, scoring 3 unearned runs in the 1st inning. 2 coming, 2 RBIs by Johnny Gomes. They got a run in the second inning, and then Travis Wood, the rookie, hitting his first major league home run in the fourth inning. Cardinals getting their only run in the first. 2 balls and a strike to Alonso. Alonso called up Wednesday and made his major league debut. Two and two the count with Brandon Phillips, the top of the order, on deck. Fly ball coming on in is Matt Holliday. Slides and the ball bounces off of his glove into the seats. And that will be 2 bases for Alonso.
I think it hit the glove and then his leg. And his leg caromed the ball into, or allowed the ball to carom into the stands. I know it hit his leg.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether it hit his glove. Was it glove leg? No.
No.
It was his leg.
It was leg into the seats.
It's a leg hit.
He legged out a double.
Legged out.
First major league hit for Yonder Alonso. So let me tell you about the first hit I got in the big leagues. See, it went this way.
A double.
Here is Brandon Phillips. Lead-off double by Alonso, and he squared the bunt and offered at it for a strike. Phillips today is 1 for 4 with an RBI single back in the second inning. Now has driven 51 runs in. And the Reds trying to add on to their 5-1 lead. Up and in, 1-1. Not only the Cardinals with a long shot try at the Reds for the NL Central League, battling for the wild card, and the Cardinals came into this game 5.5 games behind the Phillies, who have be the wild card team right now, 2.5 behind the Giants, and only 1 game ahead of the Colorado Rockies.
Cole Hamels with a 1-0 win last night.
Two and 1. The count to Phillips with McDougal on the mound. Phillies would play the Reds if the playoffs started today, and the Padres would go against the Braves. But the closest of all those races really is just curious to see what it would be.
Oh, yeah, right.
Long way to go.
Phillies only a game behind the Atlanta Braves.
Now it's 3-1 to Phillips with Orlando Cabrera on deck. And the Rockies lead the Padres 3-2 after 7 innings.
Padres going into that game losers of 8 in a row. Man.
Here's the 3-1 pitch, and off the glove, slowed up by the pitcher, and the only play is to first, as Aaron Miles thought about Alonso going to third base. And there's one away. Well, the NFL season is just a week away. Get your fantasy football team now at foxsports.com/fantasy. Fox Fantasy Football features new draft rooms, mock drafts, draft kits, and it's still 100% free. So play today at foxsports.com/fantasy.
All right.
You got your team together?
I've got it together.
You'll be doing the LCS, the World Series. I think you have a full plate. I think fantasy football is something you'll wait for yet another day, if at all.
Well, 'tis the season that your jobs get double timed,
yes,
right?
We do.
Too, Dick, with football coming up and baseball.
Yeah. Here's Orlando Cabrera. Been on base twice, singled in the first inning, walked in the 7th, has scored a run today. Alonso, the runner at third with 1 out. Took something off that breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
In fact, another St. Louisan who will be double timing, Joe Buck, who visited the booth on a busman's holiday before the game today with his lovely daughters, Natalie and Trudy, and their friends.
Joe just taking this one in.
Yeah.
With his beautiful daughters. Pitch outside 2-1. Yes,
too.
they are.
Just lovely.
And they brought a few of their friends as well.
Yep.
Joe Buck will be your partner in the LCS and the World Series, as he has been.
NLCS starts on October 14th this year, but a lot of football for you and Joe prior to that.
2 balls and a strike and a foul at the plate. Count is even.
I said the 14th, actually October 16th.
Big events next Sunday, of course, week 1 of the NFL. It'll be a Fox NFL doubleheader, the NL Championship Series, which you'll be covering starting October 16th. The 106th MLB World Series beginning October 27th. The Super Bowl from Cowboy Stadium in Dallas on February 6th, and it all capped by the Daytona 500.
How about that string of jewel events?
Beautiful.
Not bad.
Where else would you go?
That's right. One more time.
Take a look at that one.
A lot of trophies given out after those games.
Including the trophy of the winner of the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Last on that list. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And a chopper playing in was Ryan. Runners held at third. And Cabrera's retired for out number 2. So the Cardinals bringing their infield in now will move back with 2 out. And the danger is Joey Votto coming up. Votto is 1 for 4, reached on an error, scored a run in the first inning, and then a double in the third. And Tony La Russa is going to come out and make a pitching change. So the new pitcher coming in for the Cardinals, Dennis Reyes, and we'll be right back. Dennis Reyes facing Joey Votto. 0-1 to Votto. Reyes, last pitch August 15th against the Cubs, came off the disabled list on Wednesday with an elbow strain. 1-1 to Votto, who was 1 for 4 and doubled in the third inning, has scored a run as well. Facing Reyes, who pitched 4 years from the Reds. the count 2-1. Cardinals are his 10th big league team. So the word journeyman may apply.
Journeyman can be a big thing.
Means you've lasted that long.
That's exactly right.
And a shot hit to left field, base hit for Joey Votto. And coming around to score is Alonso to make it 6-1 in favor of the Reds. And Votto with his second hit of the game now with his 98th run batted in of the season. Came in leading the league in that department.
Speaking of leading the league in that department, the Cincinnati Reds now have driven in 600, make that 386, correction once again, 286 two-out RBIs, where you really have to have an RBI. That ranks second in the major leagues. Those are very difficult to get, and Votto is among the leaders in that. Big 2 RBI hit against Jonathan Broxton recently and against the Dodgers to win a game.
Scott Rowland, 1 for 3 with a single. He has walked and scored a run.
Those 2-out RBIs aren't cheap RBIs. You can get an RBI early in the game with the infield back and 1 out and stuff like that, where they're giving up the run, and that's an RBI, of course. But the 2-out RBI gives a team a lot of confidence, and the Reds have a lot of confidence with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
You look at the 39 come from behind wins,
yep.
The road record. There goes the runner, and the pitch fouled at the plate. A good jump that time by Votto, and he'll have to come back. And speaking of Joey Votto, candidate for not only a Triple Crown, but most valuable player as well. And being a Canadian, the last Canadian to win the MVP award was Justin Morneau with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, most of the great Canadian players come from the western part of the country. Very few come from the east like Votto. He's a native of Toronto.
Popped up, and Pujols chasing it in foul territory and makes the catch. Good play by Pujols to retire Rowland. But Votto gets an RBI single, and the Reds add to their lead, take a 6-1 lead into the bottom of the ninth. And a beautiful afternoon in St. Louis, but the Cincinnati Reds, with those 300 runs in the first inning, take a 6-1 lead, and Francisco Cordero on the pitch, the bottom of the 9th inning, facing Matt Holliday, and the first pitch is a strike one. Holliday has 2 hits in 3 trips today. He has 2 of the 5 Cardinal hits. All of them have been singles. One and one. Cordero, in his 3rd year with Cincinnati, has also pitched for the Brewers, the Rangers, and the Tigers. Colby Rasmus is grabbed a bat, and he's on deck for the Cardinals. Called strike. 1-2 now to Holliday. What a pitching performance for Travis Wood today. Working 7 innings, giving up no earned runs, giving up 1 run unearned, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And he has been successful on the road, facing the Cardinals for the first time in his career, matched up against Adam Wainwright. Normally you'd think he'd be on the short end of that one.
He's lost only 1 game in this ballpark this year with a 1.42 earned run average. I'll tell you, the Cardinals came into this game 5.5 behind the Phillies in the wild card, and the Colorado Rockies 6.5 behind the Phillies. The Rockies are winning now. The Cardinals, of course, are losing big to Cincinnati.
And a ground ball gloved off the glove of Phillips, but he recovers and throws out Holliday for out number 1. Take a look at the Cincinnati Reds, and they do have a rich franchise, especially during the days of the Big Red Machine. Last World Championship, Lou Piniella managed them in 1990. 95 was their last playoff appearance. Barry Larkin captured the last MVP for Cincinnati Red, that in 95. And Colby Rasmus is batting for Nick Stavanoa with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning against Cordero. And fouls it off for a strike.
My point was, Dick, the Rockies, even though the Rockies are a game behind the Cardinals in the wild card, they're winning in San Diego today. The Cardinals are losing. If you talk to most baseball fans, they would tell you the Rockies have a much better chance of getting to the postseason than the Cardinals. And the reason is the way they're playing right now, not their positioning. The Cardinals are playing so poorly over the last 3.5 weeks, and the Rockies have been playing admirably over the last 3.5 weeks.
Good fastball by Cordero, 1-2, and doesn't it seem as if the Colorado Rockies always make a September push?
Yeah. Last year it was from May 29th on under Jim Tracy. Colorado Rockies, a very, very good ball club. But it's a difference in the perception of the way the Rockies are viewed and the Cardinals are viewed because of how they're playing right now.
Here's the National League wild card standings. And as you see, the 1-game lead by the Cardinals. Rasmus, who missed 8 games with a right calf strain late August, returned last Sunday. And the count is full to Colby Rasmus with Yadier Molina on deck. 3-2 pitch, and sharply hit to left center field. That's going to be a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Rasmus will go into second with a 1-out double here in the 9th inning, and it's the first extra base hit for the Cardinals today.
Ken Rosenthal and I talked about this earlier, that Tony La Russa and Mark McGuire are trying to convince Colby Rasmus, play the game. Don't try and do anything differently other than what the pitcher offers you. If the pitch is away, hit it away. And that's exactly what Rasmus did then. Don't get too pull happy as a young hitter. Those words Tony uttered at 11:30 this morning coming back to me, and I know they're coming back to Ken Rosenthal.
Rasmus with a lead at second. 54 runs batted in and 19 home runs. And swing and a miss by Molina. Cardinals trailing the Reds 6-1 after St. Louis won last night 3-2. Reds looking to even this series, and a fly ball hit to left center field. And it's the center fielder Drew Stubbs who makes the catch. Molina is retired, and now the Cardinals are down to their last out. Pedro Feliz 0 for 3. So the Cardinals, who have now scored 17 runs in nearly 8 games.
Man.
Rasmus at second, the first pitch call strike.
2 runs a game, you're not going to win a lot of games.
No 1 pitch, and it's chopped. Fair ball, rolling in foul territory, and a great scoop by Votto for the 3rd out, and the ball game is over. And the Cincinnati Reds have defeated the Cardinals to even the series and raise their lead again in the National League Central to 8 full games, winning the game 6-1. As Travis Wood, the rookie left-hander, in his first appearance against the Cardinals, worked 7 innings, giving up no earned runs on 5 hits, as the Cardinals, for all intents and purposes, sealed it with 3 in the first inning. 6-12-1 for the Reds, 1-6-1 for the Cardinals, and the only home run in the game, that by the pitcher, young Travis Wood, with a solo homer in the 4th.
The first time that we have seen Travis Wood this year, and a very, very impressive performance by the young left-hander. Strikeouts first. Big double play for him. And on offense, 2 sacrifice bunts. So he had a sacrifice sandwich. Sacrifice, home run, sacrifice.
And with his family in the stands today, enjoying Travis Wood, who right now is down on the field with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Dick. Travis, you pitched the 7 brilliant innings, no earned runs, but let's face it, you took Adam Wainwright deep. How did you do that?
First pitch, he threw a fastball first pitch. I was swinging and made good contact, and luckily it went out.
Now, today's game, you guys obviously have a commanding lead still, but you lose last night. How important was it simply not to give them any more life?
Oh, it was huge today coming out as a team, you know, putting 3 up early on Wainwright, and then we being able to battle and go 7 innings and keep them down, keep us in the lead and stuff. That was huge.
What do you think it was like for them having Chapman follow you?
Well, it was a little bit harder on me. Just a little, though. No, I mean, he's been pitching great since he's been up here, you know. And, I mean, Hunter's hard to hit.
No question. Travis, thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. So Travis Wood now 5-2 on the year, and for Adam Wainwright, now 17-10, has lost 4 straight decisions. And we'll return after these messages.